In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills, there was a small school that served as a beacon of learning and community spirit. Among its many charmers was a scruffy, orange tabby cat named Mio, who had made the school her unofficial home. Each day, she would stroll through the gates, her tail held high, greeting students and teachers alike with a soft purr. The children adored her. They would sneak bits of their lunch to her and pet her gently during recess. Mio became a cherished member of the school, her presence bringing warmth and joy to everyone. One fateful afternoon, as the sun began to set, casting a golden light over the school, a flicker of flame ignited in the science lab. Unbeknownst to anyone, a faulty wire had sparked, and within moments, the flames began to spread. The air filled with the acrid smell of smoke, and the first students who noticed rushed to alert their teachers. Panic ensued as everyone scrambled to evacuate the building. Mio, sensing the commotion, instinctively darted toward the source of the smoke. She could hear the faint cries of confusion and fear from the students. With her heart racing, she leaped into action, running down the hallways in search of the night security guard, Mr. Min, who often napped in his office after a long day. Mio reached the door, meowing desperately as she scratched at the wood, trying to wake him from his slumber. But the smoke thickened, and the fire crackled ominously. Just as Mio's frantic efforts began to draw attention, a group of students spotted her near Mr. Min's office. They rushed over, realizing the danger that loomed over the school. "Mio! What's wrong?" one of them shouted, and without hesitation, they kicked the door open. The sight that greeted them was terrifying. Flames were licking at the walls, and smoke billowed around them. "Mr. Min," they cried, shaking him awake. In a daze, he realized the gravity of the situation and sprang into action, urging everyone to evacuate. As the students fled the building, Mio didn't follow. Instead, she darted deeper into the chaos, determined to help. She scampered past the flames, weaving through the smoke-filled corridors, searching for any stragglers left behind. Her small size allowed her to navigate through the narrow spaces where humans struggled, her instincts guiding her to the classrooms. Mio reached one of the classrooms where a group of younger students was huddled, too frightened to move. With a soft meow, she jumped onto a desk, her presence bringing a glimmer of hope. The children looked up, their eyes wide with fear, and Mio nudged her head against the nearest child, encouraging them to follow her. "Come on, Mio," the child exclaimed, and with newfound courage, the group of students followed the brave cat out of the classroom. Just as they exited the building, the fire department arrived, their sirens wailing. The firefighters swiftly took control, battling the flames and ensuring everyone was safely evacuated. But in the chaos, Mio had not been accounted for. As the firefighters worked to extinguish the blaze, the reality of the situation began to sink in. Mio, the beloved school cat, had run back inside, and the flames were growing ever more fierce. With heavy hearts, the students and teachers gathered outside, watching as their sanctuary burned. They felt a profound sense of loss for their furry friend who had selflessly risked everything for them. Hours passed, and the firefighters finally managed to extinguish the fire, but the damage was devastating. Yet, amid the ashes, there was a flicker of hope. The students were safe, thanks to Mio's bravery. As the community came together to mourn, they decided that Mio's heroism should never be forgotten. They organized a memorial service at the school, inviting everyone from the village to come and pay their respects. On a sunny afternoon, they gathered outside the charred remains of the school, their hearts heavy yet filled with gratitude for the cat that had saved lives. A local artist volunteered to create a statue of Mio, capturing her playful spirit and fierce courage. The statue was placed in the schoolyard, a symbol of bravery and love. The students and teachers painted a mural beside it, depicting Mio among the flowers and butterflies, forever watching over the school she had loved so much. As the years went by, Mio's story became a cherished legend in the village. The statue served as a reminder of the bond between the students, teachers, and their four-legged friend. Each year, on the anniversary of the fire, the school held a day of remembrance for Mio, celebrating her life with stories, art, and music. The children learned about courage and compassion, inspired by the brave cat who had given everything for her friends. Myo's spirit lived on in their hearts, a testament to the love and loyalty that transcended even the harshest circumstances. And as the school rebuilt and grew, Myo remained an eternal part of its legacy, a furry guardian watching over her beloved school, forever reminding everyone of the power of love, bravery, and community. As the seasons changed and the school rebuilt itself, the story of Myo continued to thrive within the hearts of the villagers. Every year, on the anniversary of the fire, students and teachers would gather at the statue, sharing stories about their beloved cat. They would reminisce about the days when Myo would saunter through the hallways, accepting gentle pats and sneaking snacks from delighted children. One year, a new art teacher named Ms. Lin joined the school. She was captivated by Myo's story and decided to incorporate it into her lessons. Inspired by the courage and loyalty Myo had shown, she initiated a project called Myo's Legacy, encouraging students to express their feelings through art and writing. The classroom buzzed with creativity as children painted, wrote poems, and crafted stories that reflected their love for Myo and what she had represented. As the project unfolded, one student, a shy girl named Han, began to open up. Han had always struggled to express herself, but she found solace in creating a beautiful mural that depicted Myo's daring rescue. Her painting captured the chaos of the fire but also the love and bravery that had illuminated the darkest moments. The vibrant colors and expressive strokes brought Myo to life, and when Han revealed it to the class, everyone was awestruck. Ms. Lin encouraged Han to present her mural during the upcoming school assembly. Nervous but excited, Han took a deep breath and prepared her speech. On the day of the assembly, the gymnasium filled with students, teachers, and parents, all eager to hear about Myo and the stories that had blossomed from her legacy. As Han stood before the crowd, she felt the weight of their attention. But as she spoke about Myo's bravery, the love of the community, and the power of art to heal, she found her voice. Myo taught us that even the smallest among us can make a big difference, she said, her eyes shining with determination. She showed us the meaning of courage and friendship, and we must carry that forward. When she finished, the room erupted into applause. Han's mural was soon displayed in the school, becoming a permanent tribute to Myo's spirit. Inspired by her bravery, other students began to share their own stories, and the assembly turned into a heartfelt celebration of community, resilience, and love. Over time, the school became known not just for its academics but for the strong bonds forged through shared experiences. Students learned the importance of looking out for one another, just as Myo had done. They created a kindness club, where they committed to helping those in need and spreading joy within the village. One winter, a severe storm swept through the region, leaving many families struggling without heat or supplies. The Kindness Club sprang into action, organizing a fundraiser to gather blankets, food, and essentials for those affected. Inspired by Myo's legacy, they worked tirelessly, mobilizing the community to join their cause. As the students delivered the donations, they were met with gratitude and warmth from families who had benefited from their efforts. The connections deepened, and the village came together in a spirit of unity and support, embodying the very lessons that Myo had taught them. Years later, as Han stood at the statue of Myo, now a young woman, she reflected on the impact that little cat had made. The statue had become a gathering point for students, a place where stories were shared, laughter echoed, and friendships were forged. Myo's spirit was woven into the fabric of the community, a constant reminder of love, bravery, and the importance of caring for one another. As she looked at the statue, Han felt a wave of warmth. She whispered a promise to Myo, vowing to continue the legacy of kindness and courage. With a smile, she turned to leave, knowing that Myo's story would continue to inspire generations to come. In that small village, Myo was more than just a cat. She was a symbol of hope, a guardian of the school, and a reminder that even the smallest acts of love could leave an indelible mark on the world. And as long as the spirit of Myo lived on, the school and the village would always stand strong together, united in friendship, courage, and community. As the years flowed by, the village embraced the spirit of Myo more than ever. Each generation of students learned about her heroism, and the tales of the orange tabby cat became woven into the school's history. The annual commemoration of Myo grew into a beloved tradition, transforming into a festival of kindness, creativity, and community service. One spring, inspired by the previous year's success with the Kindness Club, the students decided to organize a Myo's Day of Service. They reached out to local organizations, identifying areas where they could make a difference, from cleaning up the village park to visiting the elderly in the community. The response was overwhelming, with students and villagers alike eager to participate. On the day of the event, the school was alive with excitement. Students wore t-shirts emblazoned with Myo's image and the slogan, "Small Acts, Big Hearts." As they gathered in the schoolyard, Han stood at the front, her heart swelling with pride. She spoke about Myo's legacy and how their collective efforts reflected the love and compassion she had embodied. With a loud cheer, the students set off in groups, armed with gardening tools, cleaning supplies, and smiles. Han led a group to the village park, where they planted flowers, cleared debris, and painted benches. Laughter filled the air as they worked side by side, and the once neglected area began to bloom with vibrant colors. Meanwhile, another group visited the local nursing home, bringing handmade cards and baked goods. As they shared stories and laughter with the residents, they witnessed the joy their small gestures brought. The connection between generations deepened, and the elderly shared their own stories of bravery and kindness, weaving their experiences into the tapestry of Myo's legacy. As the sun began to set, the village square transformed into a celebration of community spirit. The students set up booths displaying their artwork, poetry, and crafts inspired by Myo. Han had prepared a large mural that showcased Myo surrounded by all the friends she had touched, emphasizing the importance of kindness and compassion. Families gathered around, marveling at the students' creativity. There were performances, songs, and even a storytelling session where the students shared their favorite memories of Myo, filling the air with nostalgia and laughter. The entire village came together to celebrate the love that Myo had ignited within their hearts. As the evening drew to a close, Han stepped onto the makeshift stage, her heart brimming with gratitude. "Tonight, we celebrate not just a cat, but the values she instilled in us, courage, kindness, and the power of community," she said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "Let us remember that even the smallest among us can make a significant impact. Myo taught us that every act of kindness matters." With those words, the crowd erupted into applause, a unified acknowledgement of the strength they found in each other. As the last rays of sunlight faded, lanterns lit up the square, illuminating the faces of friends and family gathered in unity. The festival became an annual tradition, a beloved reminder of Myo's legacy. Each year, students found new ways to give back to the community, ensuring that the spirit of Myo continued to inspire acts of kindness and love. As the years turned into decades, Han remained connected to the school and the village. She eventually became a teacher, instilling in her students the same values she had learned. Each class would visit the statue of Myo, sharing stories and reflections, keeping her memory alive. On a particularly beautiful spring day, Han stood before her students at the statue, now weathered but still standing strong. She told them about the day Myo had saved lives, about the warmth of community that followed, and about how even a small cat could leave a profound impact. As she spoke, she noticed a young girl in the front row, eyes wide with curiosity. After the lesson, the girl approached Han, her voice trembling with excitement. "Can we do something for Myo? Like a project?" Han smiled, her heart filling with joy at the spark of inspiration. "Absolutely. Let's create something special in her memory," she replied. Together, they brainstormed ideas for a new project, one that would involve planting a garden dedicated to Myo, filled with flowers that would bloom each spring, symbolizing the ongoing legacy of love and kindness. With the help of the community, they transformed a patch of land beside the statue into a vibrant garden. Each flower was planted with care, and the children shared stories about what Myo meant to them as they worked. The garden blossomed, becoming a colorful tribute to the little cat who had inspired so many. As Han tended to the garden each spring, she reflected on how Myo had become a timeless part of their lives. The lessons of courage, kindness, and community continued to resonate within the village, ensuring that Myo's spirit would never fade. And with each bloom that emerged, they were reminded of the small cat who had once walked through their school, leaving paw prints on their hearts. In the years to come, Myo's story would be shared with new generations, inspiring them to carry forth the torch of kindness. And as long as the garden flourished, and the statue stood tall, the legacy of Myo would shine brightly, a reminder that love and compassion can indeed change the world, one small act at a time. As the years passed, the garden dedicated to Myo became a beloved spot in the village, frequented by students, families, and villagers seeking a moment of peace and inspiration. Every spring, when the flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, the school would host a Myo's Blossom Festival, celebrating not only the memory of their feline friend but also the values she embodied. The festival featured a variety of activities, art contests, storytelling sessions, and even a talent show where students showcased their unique skills. It became a day of joy and reflection, a reminder of the bond that Myo had created within the community. Villagers from nearby towns often joined in, making it a cherished regional event. One year, as the festival approached, Han noticed that the garden needed a little extra care. She decided to involve her students in a special project, creating personalized stepping stones to line the path leading to the statue of Myo. Each stone would reflect a student's creativity and their own understanding of Myo's legacy. The students eagerly gathered materials, paint, mosaic tiles, and stones, transforming the garden into a vibrant workshop. Each child poured their heart into their designs, illustrating their favorite memories of Myo, quotes about kindness, and images of the community coming together. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement as they shared stories and ideas, the garden filled with laughter and camaraderie. As the festival day approached, anticipation grew. The students worked tirelessly to complete their stepping stones, ensuring they would be ready for the unveiling during the festivities. On the day of the festival, the garden sparkled in the sunlight, adorned with colorful decorations and the fresh blooms that had become a symbol of hope and resilience. During the festival, Han gathered everyone around the garden, her heart swelling with pride. Today, we honor Myo's legacy not just with words, but with our actions, she began. These stepping stones represent our commitment to kindness and the impact we can have on one another's lives. Each of us can be a beacon of love in our community, just as Myo was for us. With that, Han invited the students to unveil their creations. One by one, they shared their stepping stones, explaining the inspiration behind their designs. Some depicted Myo chasing butterflies, while others showcased the flowers that filled the garden. The students' enthusiasm was infectious, and the audience erupted in applause after each presentation. After all the stones were unveiled, the community gathered to line the path with them, transforming the garden into a living tribute. As they placed each stone carefully, the bond between the villagers deepened, and they reflected on the impact that Myo had made on their lives. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the festival, Han stepped back to admire the scene. The garden, now adorned with vibrant stepping stones and the statue of Myo standing proudly, had become a symbol of their unity and commitment to kindness. Later that evening, the villagers shared a feast under the stars, filled with laughter and joy. Stories of Myo's bravery were told and retold, each version enriched with new details and personal anecdotes. Children danced and played, their voices echoing into the night, while adults exchanged smiles, grateful for the connections they had forged through Myo's legacy. In the midst of the celebration, Han noticed a group of younger students gathering around the statue, eyes wide with wonder. They were discussing the stories they had heard about Myo and how they could honor her in their own lives. Inspired, Han approached them and encouraged them to think about their own acts of kindness and how they could contribute to the community. Over the years, this cycle of inspiration continued. Each generation of students embraced Myo's legacy, carrying forward the message of love and compassion. They launched new initiatives, such as mentoring programs, community cleanup days, and literacy campaigns, all inspired by the small cat who had made such a monumental impact. As Han grew older, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The garden, the festival, and the stories of Myo had become intertwined with the very fabric of the village. When she looked at the children playing, the laughter ringing in the air, she knew that Myo's spirit would forever be a guiding light for them. One day, as Han tended to the garden, she spotted a small orange tabby cat wandering nearby. It looked up at her with bright, curious eyes, reminiscent of Myo. a rush of nostalgia washed over her, and she knelt down, extending her hand. The cat approached cautiously, then nuzzled against her palm, purring softly. In that moment, Han felt a sense of continuity, as if Mio had sent her a message of reassurance. She smiled, recognizing that the values of kindness and bravery would live on, not only through the students and villagers but perhaps even through this new little cat. From that day on, the new tabby became a part of the community. Han named her Luna, reflecting the hope and new beginnings she represented. Just like Mio, Luna found her way into the hearts of the villagers, reminding everyone of the love that had been cultivated over the years. As Han watched Luna explore the garden, chasing butterflies and basking in the sunlight, she felt a deep connection to the past and a hopeful outlook for the future. The spirit of Mio lived on, inspiring each generation to embrace kindness, courage, and community. And so, in that little village, the legacy of Mio continued to blossom, nurtured by the love and compassion of all those who had been touched by her spirit. The garden thrived, the stories lived on, and the values of bravery and kindness flourished in every heart, proving that even the smallest of beings can create ripples of change that echo through time. As Luna settled into her new home, she quickly became a beloved figure in the village, much like Mio before her. The students delighted in her playful antics, and she often accompanied them during recess, chasing after balls and basking in the warm sun. Han embraced this new chapter, seeing in Luna a reflection of the joy and love Mio had once brought to their community. As the years rolled on, the tradition of Mio's Blossom Festival continued to flourish, growing larger each year. Luna was often seen lounging near the statue of Mio, drawing laughter and admiration from the crowd. The students, inspired by the bond they had with both cats, began to integrate new activities into the festival, such as a kindness challenge, where they would complete acts of kindness and share their experiences. One particularly memorable year, a group of students decided to create a mural in honor of both Mio and Luna. They wanted to capture the essence of the two cats and their impact on the village. Working tirelessly, they painted a vibrant mural on the side of the school, depicting Mio as a guardian spirit watching over the village, while Luna danced among the flowers below, symbolizing new beginnings. On the day of the mural's unveiling, the atmosphere was electric with excitement. The community gathered, eager to see what the students had created. Han stood beside the students, her heart swelling with pride as they explained the inspiration behind the mural. Today, we celebrate not just the memory of Mio, but also the joy that Luna brings to our lives, one student said, pointing at the mural. Together, they remind us of the importance of love and kindness. As the crowd applauded, Han felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She realized that the values Mio had instilled were being carried forward in a beautiful way, and Luna was now part of that legacy. After the unveiling, the festival transitioned into a series of activities designed to promote community spirit. There were workshops on kindness, art stations for children, and storytelling corners where villagers shared tales of both Mio and Luna. The day was filled with laughter, connection, and a profound sense of belonging. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the festival, Han gathered everyone for the closing ceremony. Today, we honor the love that Mio and Luna have brought into our lives, she began. Let us carry their spirit forward by continuing to spread kindness and joy in our community. Just then, Luna sauntered up to the stage, drawing smiles from the crowd. Han smiled down at her, knowing that this little cat had captured the hearts of many, just as Mio had done. Let's make a promise today, to always be there for one another, just like Mio was there for us and Luna is for our village now. As the villagers raised their hands in agreement, the atmosphere was filled with a sense of unity and purpose. The festival concluded with a collective pledge to continue Mio's legacy, promising to support one another and nurture kindness in their everyday lives. In the following months, the kindness initiatives flourished. The community engaged in projects ranging from neighborhood cleanups to supporting local charities, all fueled by the values instilled by Mio and reinforced by Luna. The students felt empowered, knowing that their small acts could create a significant impact, and they began to organize regular kindness days throughout the school year. As Han reflected on the growth of their community, she felt a deep sense of gratitude for the bonds that had formed and strengthened over the years. She knew that both Mio and Luna had played vital roles in shaping the village's identity, and their legacies would endure for generations to come. Years later, as Han prepared to retire from teaching, she decided to pass on her beloved stories to the next generation. She gathered her students in the garden, surrounded by the blooms that had flourished under their care. With Luna curled up at her feet, Han shared the tales of Mio's bravery and the impact it had on their community. "Remember," she said, "the true essence of kindness is about being there for one another, just as Mio was there for us. Let's continue to carry that spirit forward." On the day of her retirement ceremony, the village organized a celebration in her honor, recognizing her dedication to instilling values of love and compassion. The garden was adorned with flowers, and the statue of Mio stood proudly nearby, a reminder of the legacy that had inspired so many. As Han prepared to say her goodbyes, she looked at the faces of her former students, now young adults ready to take on the world. "I trust that you will continue to spread kindness wherever you go," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Just like Mio and Luna have done for us." With tears in her eyes, Han felt a deep sense of closure. She knew that Mio and Luna would forever remain in the hearts of those in the village, guiding them through life's challenges and joys. As the sun set on her last day as a teacher, Han felt hopeful about the future. She realized that the values they had nurtured together would continue to blossom, carried on by the community's spirit of kindness. And as she watched Luna play among the flowers, she knew that the legacy of Mio would thrive, reminding everyone that love, compassion, and community can create a beautiful tapestry of life, one that is vibrant, enduring, and filled with hope. As Han transitioned into retirement, she found herself reflecting on the many years she had dedicated to the village and its students. While she was excited about her newfound freedom, she felt a longing to stay connected to the community that had shaped her life so profoundly. She decided to organize a legacy project, where she could pass down not just stories, but practical ways to keep the spirit of Mio and Luna alive. The project involved creating a kindness library in the heart of the village. This library would not only house books but also serve as a space for community gatherings, workshops, and storytelling sessions. Han envisioned it as a hub where people could share ideas and resources, nurturing the values of kindness, compassion, and creativity that Mio and Luna had embodied. To kick off the initiative, Han gathered former students, parents, and village leaders in the garden. With Luna by her side, she explained her vision. "This library will be a place for everyone, a sanctuary of knowledge and kindness. We can fill it with stories, both real and imagined, about how we can support one another," she said, her voice filled with passion. The community responded with enthusiasm. Volunteers stepped up to help design the space, gather books, and create programs. Over the next few months, the village came together, demonstrating the very spirit of collaboration that Mio had inspired. They painted walls, built shelves, and filled the library with a diverse collection of books, stories of bravery, tales of kindness, and guides on how to help one another. When the day of the library's grand opening arrived, the village buzzed with excitement. Han stood at the entrance, watching as villagers, young and old, gathered to celebrate this new chapter. The library's doors swung open, and the community poured in, marveling at the warm, inviting atmosphere filled with the scent of fresh paint and new books. Han welcomed everyone, her heart swelling with pride. "Today, we celebrate not only this new space but also the values that have brought us together," she began. "Let this library be a reminder that we can all contribute to a kinder world. Every story shared and every lesson learned will strengthen the bonds we have." The opening festivities included storytelling sessions, where villagers shared their favorite tales of Mio and Luna, recounting moments that had made a difference in their lives. Children sat wide-eyed, soaking in the stories, while adults laughed and reminisced. The atmosphere was filled with love and community spirit, a beautiful reflection of the legacy that Han had worked to build. As the weeks turned into months, the Kindness Library flourished. It became a hub for activities ranging from book clubs to creative workshops. Han often volunteered her time, hosting sessions on storytelling and kindness, guiding children in crafting their own narratives and encouraging them to think about how they could make a positive impact in their own lives. One day, a young boy named Min approached Han after one of her storytelling sessions. He looked nervous, clutching a piece of paper tightly. "Ms. Han, I want to write a story about Myo," he said shyly. "But I don't know if I can do it." Han knelt down to his level, her eyes sparkling with encouragement. "Of course you can, Min. Every story is unique, and yours will be special because it comes from you. Just think about what Myo means to you and how she has inspired you. That's the heart of storytelling." With her support, Min began to craft his story. He poured his heart into it, detailing how Myo's bravery had taught him the importance of looking out for his friends. When he finished, he presented it at the library's next storytelling night. His words resonated with everyone, and the audience applauded with enthusiasm. Buoyed by the experience, other children began to share their stories too. The library transformed into a nurturing space where creativity flourished, and the values of Myo and Luna lived on through the written word. The impact of Han's legacy was clear. A new generation was learning the importance of kindness, courage, and community, inspired by the lessons of the past. As Han continued to mentor these young storytellers, she also found joy in watching Luna interact with the community. The cat had become a fixture at the library, often curling up in the lap of anyone reading or participating in a workshop. Villagers cherished these moments, believing that Luna's presence brought a touch of magic to the space. One afternoon, as Han sat in the library surrounded by children engrossed in their writing, she realized how far they had come. The garden was in full bloom outside, and the sun cast a warm glow through the windows. She felt a wave of gratitude for the community that had embraced her vision, allowing Myo and Luna's legacies to thrive. In the coming years, the library not only became a center of learning and creativity but also a place for the community to gather and support one another. They organized events for families in need, tutoring programs for children, and wellness workshops that promoted mental and emotional well-being. The villagers had created a vibrant tapestry of kindness, where every thread represented an act of compassion. Han often reflected on how a single cat's bravery had sparked a movement that changed the very fabric of their lives. As Han continued her work in the library, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She knew that Myo and Luna would forever be a part of the village's identity, guiding future generations toward a life filled with love, kindness, and community. And as she watched Luna play in the garden, chasing after butterflies and rolling in the flowers, she smiled, knowing that their legacy would carry on, blooming beautifully in the hearts of all who called the village home. As the years rolled on, the Kindness Library continued to thrive, becoming an integral part of village life. It wasn't just a repository of books, it was a space where dreams were nurtured, friendships were forged, and acts of kindness were celebrated. Han felt a sense of pride each time she saw the library bustling with activity, filled with the laughter and chatter of children and adults alike. One particularly vibrant spring, as preparations for the annual Myo's Blossom Festival began, Han and the villagers decided to take the celebration to new heights. They envisioned a story walk event, where the path leading to the library would be lined with pages from the stories created by the children, celebrating both Myo and Luna. The stories would be displayed on colorful banners, creating an immersive experience for all who attended. The students were thrilled at the idea. They set to work, selecting their favorite stories to display. Each child poured their creativity into designing beautiful illustrations that accompanied their narratives, transforming the path into a living tapestry of imagination and kindness. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement as everyone collaborated, ensuring that each story was represented with care. On the day of the festival, the sun shone brightly, and the village was alive with anticipation. As families arrived, they were greeted by the sight of the story walk, a winding path lined with the vibrant illustrations and heartfelt tales. The children beamed with pride as they saw their work celebrated in such a special way. Han welcomed everyone with open arms, her heart swelling with joy. Today, we celebrate the power of storytelling and the impact of kindness that Myo and Luna have inspired in each of us, she began. Let these stories remind us of the importance of compassion and friendship. As visitors walked along the path, they stopped to read the stories, sharing laughter and moments of reflection. The tales of Myo's bravery and Luna's playful spirit resonated deeply, each one echoing the values of love and community that had flourished over the years. The festival featured various activities, from art stations to puppet shows, where children acted out their favorite stories. Han coordinated a storytelling circle, inviting participants to share their favorite memories of Myo and Luna. The atmosphere was filled with warmth and nostalgia as stories of courage, kindness, and friendship filled the air. In one corner of the festival, Han noticed Min, now a confident young storyteller, eagerly reading his latest story to a captivated audience of younger children. They listened intently, hanging on his every word. Han felt a rush of pride. He had grown so much, embodying the values they had all worked to instill. As the day wore on, villagers enjoyed a potluck feast, sharing dishes that reflected their diverse backgrounds. Laughter and chatter filled the air as people gathered around tables, strengthening the bonds of friendship and community. It was a beautiful tapestry of flavors, reminiscent of the variety of stories that had emerged from the library. As dusk approached, Han gathered everyone for the closing ceremony. The garden was adorned with lanterns, casting a warm glow over the gathering. Tonight, we honor the legacies of Myo and Luna, who taught us the importance of kindness, she said, her voice resonating with emotion. Let's carry these lessons forward, nurturing love and compassion in our everyday lives. With those words, the villagers lit candles in memory of Myo and Luna, placing them around the statue. The flickering flame symbolized hope and unity, illuminating the garden as a beautiful tribute. The villagers took turns sharing their hopes for the future, each one echoing a commitment to uphold the values that had brought them together. It was a moment of reflection, a reminder of how far they had come and the positive impact they could continue to create. As the festival came to a close, Han felt a profound sense of fulfillment. She watched as children played, laughter echoing in the air, and she knew that the legacies of Myo and Luna would forever be woven into the fabric of the village. Their spirit of kindness had blossomed into something truly beautiful, nurturing generations of compassion and love. As Han prepared to return to the library, she caught a glimpse of Luna lounging under the statue, her eyes sparkling in the twilight. Han walked over, kneeling beside her. "You've done well, little one," she whispered, stroking Luna's soft fur. "Together, we've created something truly special." In the months that followed, the library continued to be a beacon of inspiration. New programs emerged, such as a Kindness Pen Pal initiative, connecting the village with a nearby town. The children wrote letters sharing stories of their lives, fostering friendships and encouraging kindness beyond their own community. Han knew that this spirit of generosity would continue to spread. She often invited guest speakers to share their experiences, reinforcing the idea that acts of kindness could change the world. The library became a place where ideas flowed freely, and the seeds of compassion were planted in the hearts of all who entered. As seasons changed and the years passed, Han eventually began to think about what would come next for the Kindness Library. She envisioned a mentoring program where older students could guide younger ones, ensuring that the spirit of kindness would be passed down through the generations. In her heart, she knew that Myo and Luna would always be a part of their lives, guiding them as they continued to write their own stories of compassion and bravery. As she watched children laugh and play, Han felt a deep sense of contentment. Their journey together was far from over, and the legacy of love and kindness would continue to flourish in their hearts, creating a brighter future for all. As the seasons changed and the community continued to thrive, Han focused on bringing her vision for a mentoring program to life. She gathered the older students who had grown up in the library, those who had been inspired by Myo and Luna's stories, and encouraged them to take on leadership roles. They would help guide the younger children, sharing not only stories but also the values of kindness and community spirit. The first meeting of the mentoring program took place in the library, filled with eager faces and a sense of anticipation. Han watched as the older students, now young adults, took the lead. They shared their own experiences of growing up in the village and how Myo and Luna had influenced their lives. They encouraged the younger children to express their thoughts and dreams, fostering an environment of openness and creativity. Min, who had become a confident storyteller, led a session focused on crafting personal stories. He encouraged the younger students to think about their own experiences with kindness and bravery. "Everyone has a story to tell," he said, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. Your story can inspire others, just like Mio's and Luna's inspired us. As the program progressed, bonds formed between the generations. The younger children looked up to their mentors, eager to learn and share their own ideas. They engaged in various activities, from writing workshops to art projects, all centered around the theme of kindness. The library buzzed with creativity, laughter, and a shared sense of purpose. One day, as Han observed the mentoring sessions, she noticed a shy girl named Lin who struggled to participate. Han approached her gently. "What's on your mind, Lin?" she asked. Lin looked down, fiddling with her pencil. "I want to share my story, but I'm scared," she admitted. Han smiled warmly. "It's okay to feel that way. Remember, everyone here cares about each other. You can take your time. When you're ready, we'll be here to listen." Encouraged by Han's support, Lin began to open up during the next session. With Min's guidance, she crafted a story about a small bird that overcame obstacles to find its voice. When she finally shared it with the group, her voice trembled but grew stronger with each word. The room fell silent as she narrated her tale, capturing everyone's attention. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. Tears of joy filled her eyes as she realized that her story had touched the hearts of her peers. "You see?" Min said, beaming. "Your voice matters, Lin." Inspired by Lin's courage, other students began to share their stories more freely. The atmosphere in the library transformed into a sanctuary of support and encouragement, where each voice was valued, and every story celebrated. As the mentoring program flourished, Han organized special events, inviting parents and community members to witness the growth of their children. The library became a focal point for gatherings, and the village felt a renewed sense of togetherness. One evening, Han planned a storytelling night where families could come together to share their favorite tales. The anticipation in the air was palpable as parents and children prepared to present their stories. The library was adorned with twinkling lights and colorful banners showcasing illustrations from the students' stories. As the event began, Han introduced the evening, emphasizing the importance of storytelling as a means of connecting with one another. "Tonight, let us celebrate not only the stories we share but also the love and kindness that binds us together as a community," she said, her heart full. The night was a resounding success. Families laughed, cried, and cheered as they listened to tales of bravery, adventure, and friendship. Lin shared her story again, this time with even more confidence, and received thunderous applause. Han felt a wave of pride wash over her. The legacy of Mio and Luna was alive and well, thriving in the hearts of the next generation. As the evening drew to a close, Han encouraged everyone to reflect on how they could continue to spread kindness in their daily lives. "Let's take the lessons from these stories and weave them into the fabric of our community," she urged. In the months that followed, the mentoring program evolved further, expanding its reach. The older students began organizing community service projects, such as helping the elderly with chores, organizing cleanup days in the village, and visiting local shelters. They embodied the very principles of kindness that Mio and Luna had represented, showing others that small acts could lead to significant change. Han felt a sense of fulfillment as she watched the program thrive. The library had become a living testament to the impact of love and compassion, and the community was stronger for it. The bonds formed through storytelling and mentorship enriched everyone's lives, creating a ripple effect of kindness that reached far beyond the village. As the next, Mio's Blossom Festival, approached, Han and the students began planning ways to showcase the success of their mentoring program. They decided to incorporate a kindness wall at the festival, where villagers could write down their pledges for acts of kindness they would commit to in the coming year. This would not only honor the spirit of Mio and Luna but also inspire others to join in the movement. On the day of the festival, the village was alive with excitement. The kindness wall was adorned with colorful paper flowers, each representing a pledge made by community members. As people wandered through the festival, they stopped to read the pledges, feeling inspired by the collective commitment to kindness. Han stood by the wall, watching as families wrote their pledges and added them to the display. It was a beautiful sight, an entire community coming together to embrace the values that had been nurtured over the years. As the festival drew to a close, Han gathered everyone around the garden, where the statue of Myo stood proudly among the blooming flowers. Today, we celebrate not just the memory of Myo and Luna but also the spirit of kindness that has flourished in our hearts, she said, her voice filled with emotion. Let's continue to nurture this spirit, ensuring that love and compassion guide our actions every day. The villagers cheered, united in their commitment to a kinder world. Han felt a profound sense of hope for the future, knowing that the legacy of Myo and Luna would continue to inspire generations to come. As the sun set on the festival, casting a golden glow over the garden, Han looked around at the smiling faces and felt a deep connection to the community. She realized that the stories they had shared, the kindness they had cultivated, and the friendships they had formed were woven together like a beautiful tapestry, each thread representing a moment of love and connection. And as she caught a glimpse of Luna playfully chasing butterflies in the garden, Han knew that the journey of kindness would carry on, ever blossoming, just like the flowers that surrounded them. The spirit of Myo and Luna would forever live on, inspiring hearts and minds to embrace compassion and creativity in all that they did. As the festival came to a close, the community buzzed with excitement and renewed energy. The success of the Kindness Wall and the mentoring program solidified the village's commitment to nurturing kindness and creativity. Han felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that the values Myo and Luna had instilled were flourishing in the hearts of the villagers. In the months that followed, the library became a hub of activity. New programs emerged, such as a Kindness Book Club, where families gathered to discuss books centered on themes of empathy and friendship. Each month, the discussions sparked lively conversations that inspired the participants to apply those lessons in their daily lives. The mentoring program also expanded to include storytelling workshops for parents, where they learned how to craft and share their own tales with their children. Han invited local authors to lead sessions, fostering a love of literature and storytelling that resonated deeply within the community. The library became a beacon of creativity, a place where families connected over shared experiences and stories. One day, as Han was preparing for a workshop, she received a message from a nearby town. They had heard about the success of the Kindness Library and wanted to collaborate on a regional Kindness Festival. The event would bring together villages from across the area, celebrating the values of kindness, creativity, and community spirit. Han felt a surge of excitement. This was an incredible opportunity to share their journey with others and inspire even more people to embrace the spirit of kindness. She quickly gathered the students and mentors to brainstorm ideas for the festival. Together, they devised a plan to showcase their story in a way that would resonate with visitors. They decided to create a Kindness Journey exhibit, where attendees could walk through a series of interactive displays illustrating the impact of Myo and Luna, the importance of storytelling, and the ripple effect of kindness. As the festival approached, the village buzzed with preparations. Families worked together to create displays, artwork, and activities that would captivate visitors. Han organized a team to coordinate storytelling sessions, while Min and Lin took charge of creating a Kindness Pledge booth, encouraging attendees to commit to acts of kindness in their own communities. On the day of the festival, Han stood at the entrance, welcoming visitors from near and far. The atmosphere was electric, filled with laughter, music, and the warmth of community. The Kindness Journey exhibit drew crowds, with families exploring the displays and engaging in interactive storytelling activities. Han watched as children eagerly shared their own stories, inspired by the examples set by Myo and Luna. The message of kindness echoed through the festival, creating a sense of unity among the diverse attendees. It was heartwarming to see how the spirit of compassion had transcended boundaries, bringing people together to celebrate their shared humanity. As the day progressed, Han took a moment to reflect. She felt immense gratitude for the journey they had embarked upon, from the humble beginnings of a small library to a regional celebration of kindness. It was a testament to the power of community and the impact of nurturing love and empathy. During a break in the festivities, Han was approached by a woman from a neighboring village. "I've heard so much about your library and the impact it's had on your community," she said. "We'd love to bring similar programs to our town, inspired by your success. Han felt a rush of excitement. We would be thrilled to share our experiences and help you create your own initiatives. Kindness is a journey, and we're all in this together, she replied. This interaction sparked an idea in Han's mind. She envisioned a network of libraries across the region, all committed to promoting kindness and creativity. With the enthusiasm of her village and the interest from neighboring communities, she saw the potential for a movement that could touch many lives. As the festival continued, Han gathered her team and shared her vision for a regional kindness network. They discussed the possibility of connecting with other libraries to create a platform for sharing resources, ideas, and experiences, empowering each community to nurture their own unique expressions of kindness. The idea resonated deeply with everyone. They brainstormed ways to facilitate collaboration, including virtual meetings, shared events, and an online resource hub where communities could exchange stories and best practices. Han felt a renewed sense of purpose as they fleshed out this vision together. By the end of the festival, the excitement was palpable. The villagers embraced the idea of the Kindness Network, eager to take the next steps toward building connections with other communities. Han knew that this was just the beginning of a larger movement that could spread the spirit of kindness far beyond their village. As the sun began to set on the festival, casting a golden hue over the gathered families, Han looked around at the joy on everyone's faces. She felt a deep connection to each person present, understanding that they were all part of something much larger, an ever-growing tapestry of kindness and compassion that would ripple through generations. That evening, as the festivities wound down and families began to depart, Han stood by the statue of Myo, now adorned with flowers from the festival. She felt Luna nuzzle against her leg, reminding her of the profound impact these two cats had had on their lives. With a heart full of gratitude, Han made a silent promise to continue nurturing the values they had cultivated. She envisioned a future where kindness would become a guiding principle for communities everywhere, inspiring others to embrace love and compassion in their everyday lives. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, Han felt a renewed sense of hope. The journey ahead was bright, and together, they would continue to create a world filled with stories of bravery, laughter, and unyielding kindness. The legacy of Myo and Luna would forever be a guiding light, illuminating the path toward a compassionate future. As the days turned into weeks after the festival, the excitement surrounding the proposed Kindness Network grew. Han organized a meeting to discuss the next steps, inviting representatives from neighboring villages who had expressed interest in joining the initiative. The gathering was held in the library, where the walls were adorned with colorful artwork created by the children, celebrating the spirit of kindness and creativity. On the day of the meeting, the library was filled with anticipation. Han welcomed everyone warmly, her heart swelling with pride as she saw familiar faces mingling with new ones. The air was charged with energy as ideas flowed freely. "I'm so excited about the possibility of working together," Han began, addressing the group. "We've seen how powerful our community has become through kindness, and I believe we can extend that influence to others. Together, we can create a network that inspires compassion throughout our region." The attendees nodded enthusiastically, sharing their own experiences and challenges in promoting kindness in their communities. One woman from a neighboring village spoke up. "We have a local library, but it's not as active as yours. We'd love guidance on how to engage our community like you have." Han listened intently and encouraged everyone to share their thoughts. After much discussion, they brainstormed ways to foster collaboration, including monthly virtual meetings, shared resource libraries, and joint events that would showcase the diverse stories and experiences of each community. By the end of the meeting, the group had formed a plan to kick off the Kindness Network with a regional kindness challenge. They would invite each community to commit to specific acts of kindness over a set period, culminating in a grand celebration at the end of the challenge where they could share their successes and stories. As the weeks passed, excitement spread like wildfire. Each village prepared for the challenge, rallying their residents to participate. Han coordinated a central calendar where each community could document their activities and share updates, creating a vibrant tapestry of kindness stories across the network. The challenge launched with great enthusiasm. Communities organized various initiatives, from helping the elderly to planting trees, and even hosting kindness fairs, where residents could share their stories and learn from one another. Social media buzzed with posts showcasing acts of kindness, encouraging others to join in and participate. Han felt a profound sense of fulfillment as she witnessed the ripple effects of their efforts. The Kindness Network was creating connections that transcended boundaries, uniting people with a common purpose. She received updates from neighboring villages, sharing how the challenge had brought their residents closer together and inspired acts of compassion that had never occurred before. One day, as she sat in the library, Han received a call from a journalist who wanted to feature their Kindness Network in a local newspaper. Excited, she agreed to an interview, eager to share their story with a broader audience. When the article was published, it sparked even more interest in the initiative. Other villages reached out, eager to join the movement. Han organized additional meetings to welcome new members, expanding the network and strengthening the bonds of kindness. As the challenge drew to a close, Han planned a grand celebration, inviting all the villages to come together and share their experiences. They secured a beautiful outdoor space in the village, decorated with vibrant banners and flowers, a fitting tribute to the spirit of Myo and Luna. On the day of the celebration, the atmosphere was electric. Families from each community arrived, bringing dishes to share and stories to tell. The air was filled with laughter and joy as people reconnected and celebrated their shared commitment to kindness. Han opened the event, her heart full as she addressed the crowd. Today, we gather not just to celebrate our accomplishments but to honor the spirit of kindness that has brought us together. Let's continue to carry this message forward, inspiring one another and creating a brighter future for all. The attendees cheered, their voices echoing through the garden. As the celebration unfolded, communities showcased their experiences through performances, art displays, and storytelling sessions. Children shared their stories, and the elders reflected on how far they had come. One highlight of the event was a collaborative mural, where representatives from each village painted a section that represented their unique stories of kindness. As they worked together, laughter and camaraderie filled the air, reinforcing the bonds they had forged. As dusk approached, Han gathered everyone for a final ceremony. They lit candles in memory of Myo and Luna, placing them around the central mural. The flickering flames illuminated the faces of the gathered families, each one glowing with pride and joy. Let these lights remind us of the love and compassion we've shared and the journey ahead, Han said, her voice steady with emotion. May we continue to shine brightly in our communities, inspiring others to embrace kindness in all that they do. As the candles flickered in the twilight, Han felt a deep sense of gratitude. The Kindness Network had grown beyond her wildest dreams, creating a legacy of compassion that would ripple through generations. In the weeks that followed, the energy from the celebration lingered in the air. Communities continued to share their stories and inspire one another, fostering a culture of kindness that permeated every aspect of village life. Han's vision had become a reality, a thriving network dedicated to spreading kindness and compassion. As she walked through the library one day, watching children read and share stories, she realized that this journey was just the beginning. She envisioned even more collaborative initiatives, workshops, and events that would continue to inspire creativity and connection. Han felt a sense of hope for the future, knowing that Myo and Luna's legacy would continue to guide their path. And as Luna curled up beside her in the library, Han smiled, knowing that together, they would continue to nurture a world filled with love, kindness, and stories that inspire hearts and minds for years to come. The journey of compassion was alive and thriving, weaving its way through the fabric of their community and beyond, creating a brighter, kinder world for all. As the months rolled on, the Kindness Network continued to flourish, drawing in more communities eager to join the movement. Han found herself busier than ever, organizing workshops, planning events, and collaborating with village leaders. Each new addition to the network brought fresh ideas and perspectives, enriching the collective spirit of kindness. One sunny afternoon, Han received an unexpected visit from a local school principal named Mr. Tan. He had heard about the Kindness Network and was inspired to integrate its values into his school's curriculum. "I believe that teaching kindness and empathy can transform our students," he said earnestly. I'd love your help in developing a program that encourages these values in the classroom." Han's heart swelled with excitement at the prospect. "Absolutely. Let's create a curriculum that not only teaches academic skills but also emphasizes emotional intelligence and community service." Together, they brainstormed ideas for interactive lessons, storytelling sessions, and kindness projects that students could undertake throughout the school year. Over the following weeks, they developed a comprehensive program that included weekly kindness challenges, storytelling workshops, and community service projects. They also invited students to share their experiences during monthly assemblies, fostering a sense of pride and ownership in their contributions to the community. As the program launched, the response was overwhelmingly positive. Students eagerly engaged in acts of kindness, from helping classmates to organizing food drives for local shelters. Each month, the school celebrated a Kindness Day, where students showcased their projects, shared stories, and reflected on the impact of their actions. The partnership between the Kindness Network and the school inspired other educational institutions to follow suit. Soon, more schools in the region reached out, eager to integrate kindness into their curricula. Han worked tirelessly to support these initiatives, conducting workshops and providing resources to ensure each school could tailor the program to their unique environment. One day, as she visited a local school to observe the program in action, Han was filled with joy watching students participate in a kindness fair. Booths lined the schoolyard, each one dedicated to different acts of kindness, writing letters to nursing home residents, creating care packages for families in need, and even a compliment corner, where students wrote kind notes to each other. Han was amazed at the creativity and enthusiasm displayed by the students. The fair was filled with laughter and warmth, and it was clear that the lessons of kindness were resonating deeply. Parents, teachers, and community members participated, reinforcing the idea that kindness was a shared responsibility. After the fair, Han gathered with Mr. Tan and the teachers to discuss the impact of the program. "We've seen a remarkable change in our students," Mr. Tan shared. "They're more engaged, empathetic, and eager to help one another. It's as if kindness has become a part of our school culture." Han nodded, her heart brimming with pride. "This is just the beginning. Imagine the ripple effects of these values as these students grow up and carry them into their future communities." The momentum continued to build, and Han realized that the Kindness Network was now not only a regional initiative but also a movement that could extend beyond borders. Inspired by the positive outcomes, she began envisioning an annual Kindness Summit, where representatives from each village and school could come together to share their successes, challenges, and strategies for spreading kindness. Planning the summit was no small feat, but Han and her team poured their hearts into organizing a day filled with workshops, discussions, and collaborative projects. They secured a larger venue to accommodate the growing number of participants and invited guest speakers who had made significant contributions to kindness initiatives in their own communities. As the summit day approached, Han felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She wanted to ensure that everyone felt welcomed and inspired. On the day of the event, the venue buzzed with energy as participants arrived, exchanging stories and ideas. The atmosphere was charged with optimism and camaraderie. Han opened the summit with a heartfelt welcome, reflecting on how far they had come. "Today, we gather to celebrate the power of kindness and the connections we've forged. Together, we can create a legacy that impacts not just our communities, but future generations." The day was filled with engaging workshops, where participants learned about innovative kindness projects, discussed the importance of storytelling in fostering empathy, and shared practical strategies for sustaining their initiatives. The atmosphere was vibrant, with attendees forming new friendships and collaborations. One of the highlights of the summit was a panel discussion featuring representatives from various communities, each sharing their unique experiences and insights. Han listened intently as they spoke about the challenges they faced and the triumphs they celebrated. It was a reminder of the diverse paths that had led them all to this moment. As the day came to a close, Han facilitated a closing circle, inviting everyone to share their reflections and commitments moving forward. The room buzzed with ideas and aspirations as participants pledged to carry the spirit of kindness into their own communities. With the summit behind them, the energy of the kindness network continued to thrive. Han received countless messages of gratitude from attendees, each expressing how inspired they felt to implement new initiatives and strengthen their commitment to kindness. In the following months, the network blossomed further. New projects emerged, such as Kindness in Action Days, where communities came together to undertake large-scale service projects. Han felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she witnessed the collective impact of their efforts, knowing that the legacy of Myo and Luna was woven into every act of kindness. As the seasons changed, Han reflected on the journey that had unfolded. The library remained a hub of creativity, storytelling, and community engagement, and she felt grateful for the support of her neighbors and the connections that had formed through the kindness network. One crisp autumn afternoon, while sorting through donations for a community project, Han discovered a letter tucked away in a stack of papers. It was a note from Lin, the shy girl who had found her voice through storytelling. The letter was filled with gratitude, detailing how the kindness initiatives had changed her perspective on the world and inspired her to pursue her dreams. Reading Lin's words, Han felt tears of joy prick at her eyes. This was the essence of their work, a reminder that kindness had the power to transform lives. She decided to share Lin's letter at the next mentoring session, inspiring the older students to understand the impact they were having on the younger generation. As winter approached, the village began preparations for the next Myo's Blossom Festival. Han envisioned incorporating a kindness award to recognize individuals and groups who had made significant contributions to spreading kindness in their communities. She wanted to celebrate the heroes who embodied the spirit of compassion and inspire others to follow suit. On the day of the festival, the garden would be adorned with twinkling lights, colorful banners, and the warmth of community. As families gathered, Han envisioned a beautiful ceremony, where stories would be shared, kindness would be celebrated, and the legacies of Myo and Luna would shine brightly in everyone's hearts. The journey of kindness was far from over, and Han felt a profound sense of hope for the future. With Luna by her side, she knew that they would continue to inspire love, compassion, and creativity, weaving a tapestry of kindness that would flourish for generations to come. And as the flowers began to bloom in anticipation of spring, so too did the spirit of kindness, ready to blossom in new and beautiful ways. As the day of the Myo's Blossom Festival finally arrived, the village was abuzz with excitement. Families set up booths showcasing crafts, delicious foods, and stories of kindness that had emerged from the kindness network. Han felt a mixture of joy and anticipation as she watched the community come together to celebrate their shared commitment to compassion. The garden was transformed into a vibrant festival space, adorned with colorful decorations and the soft glow of lanterns. Han stood at the center, surrounded by smiling faces, and felt the warmth of community spirit enveloping her. When it was time for the Kindness Award ceremony, Han stepped forward, her heart swelling with pride. Today, we gather not only to remember Myo and Luna but to celebrate the incredible acts of kindness that have emerged from our shared journey. Each of you has contributed to this vibrant tapestry of compassion in your own unique way. She introduced the first recipient of the Kindness Award, a group of students who had organized a food drive for local families in need. Their passion and dedication inspired everyone, and as they accepted their award, their smiles lit up the garden. Next, Han called up Lin, who had blossomed into a confident storyteller. She shared her journey and the impact of kindness on her life, inspiring others with her heartfelt words. The applause was thunderous, and tears of joy glimmered in Han's eyes. As the ceremony continued, stories were shared that celebrated not just individual achievements, but the collective strength of their community. Each tale reinforced the idea that kindness was a shared responsibility, a thread that wove everyone together. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden light over the festival, Han gathered everyone for a closing circle. Let us take a moment to reflect on the kindness we've witnessed and the connections we've made. Remember, every small act of compassion contributes to a brighter future. With hands joined, the community shared their hopes for the coming year, pledging to continue spreading kindness in their lives. The atmosphere was filled with laughter, gratitude, and a sense of belonging that resonated deeply in every heart. As the night unfolded, lanterns were lit, illuminating the garden in a soft, magical glow. Han looked around, her heart full, knowing that the legacy of Mio and Luna lived on in the spirit of every person present. In that moment, she felt a profound sense of purpose. The Kindness Network was more than an initiative, it was a living testament to the power of love and community. And as families danced and shared stories under the starlit sky, Han knew that their journey of kindness would continue to flourish, inspiring not only their village but beyond. With Luna curled at her feet, Han smiled, ready for the adventures that lay ahead. The seeds of kindness they had planted would grow into a garden of compassion, blooming brightly in the hearts of many for years to come. The journey was ongoing, and together, they would nurture a world filled with hope, love, and stories that inspired future generations to embrace the beauty of kindness.